everyone, it's Timah. Alright, now today what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do is prepare your Kamut cereal. This is actually one of my favorites, and these are the this is the Kamut grain that I get. So first you're going to have to blend this stuff up. So I'm going to blend up more than I'm actually going to use today. So I'm going to blend in maybe about a cup and a half, just so that I can have some extra for some other days that I want it. So when we get this blended, the amount that we're actually going to use is going to be half of a cup. So you're going to need half cup of your Kamut flour. And blending this down, you're going to have to blend this like about 3 to 4 times to get it to that fine ground powder that you really need this to be in. You don't really want to have those extra lumps inside of it, because being that it's whole like this, you actually have to cook it for quite a while. But when you have it inside of a powder form, a flour form, it doesn't actually have to cook as long as it would if it was inside of its whole form. So I'm going to blend this down, and then I'm going to show you this in its powder form. Alright, so that was 4 times that this blended, and I have a 1500 watt. And you do want to sift this, because you don't want to have any of the extra any of the little bumps that's going to be inside of it. It's not going to hurt. It'll still cook down, but you'll taste those extra bumps that's going to be inside of it. So I'm going to show you this. So this is very finely ground. Look at this. So it's just powder. It's just a flour. But again, it's going to take about 4 to 5 times to get it to that fine ground powder, that flour that you would actually go to the store and you buy the Kamut flour. 4 to 5 times to get it like this. So I'm going to put in half cup, and I already have my water on the eye. So it's going to be a cup of your spring water. You're going to need about a 1/4 cup of some coconut milk. Make your own coconut milk. That's always the best. You're going to need about 1/8 of a teaspoon of some cayenne powder, and about 1/2 of a teaspoon of some sea salt, and 1/2 of a teaspoon of some ginger powder. I know you're thinking like, what the hell is this that she's got us making? Right? You're gonna like this. Alrighty? So you're gonna get all that on the aisle. Now, if you have some oyster mushrooms, and you're gonna get your oyster mushrooms out. I keep my oyster mushrooms frozen as well, and I use my Kelp for Shrooms on this. And so what you do is you, of course, first you always want to wash your oyster mushrooms, and those are my favorite mushrooms. And I have some other type of mushrooms that I'm going to show you guys. So you're going to wash your oyster mushrooms, let them dry out, and then you're going to season it with the Kelp for Shrooms seasoning. Alright, if you don't season it with the Kelp for Shrooms seasoning because you don't have it, then just use a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of cayenne pepper, and then you'll sprinkle over a little bit of grapeseed oil, massage that all in, and then you can freeze it that way. Now, when you want to cook this down, if you don't have it frozen, you're going to use one of those, it's about a 3.5 ounce container of the oyster mushrooms that you see when you go to like Myers, or you're not going to see it in Kroger's, but you'll see it inside of Myers. So you're going to get one of those containers. All you're going to need is maybe about a tablespoon of the Kelp for Shrooms seasoning, and everyone that received my free samples, that's a tablespoon inside of there that you can test this out with. You can even try to test this out just using half of the kelp for shrooms, using just half of your mushrooms. So you're gonna season it down with that. I have a video showing how to use it, but you season it down, massage it into all of the fins that's on your oyster mushrooms, and then you can put your oil over that and massage that in. Now you can let it sit for about 30 minutes to about an hour so that it can work its way all the way in through your oyster mushrooms. So I'm going to get my oyster mushrooms out of the freezer. I've been talking a little bit too long without actually showing you guys something. So into the freezer I'm going to go. Okay, so I have my oyster mushrooms out here, and again, these are all frozen. And they're all seasoned up with my kelp for shroom seasoning, and they also have the oil in it, so you notice that they're not actually sticking together. And I have my Kamut cereal, my cayenne pepper, and then I'm gonna get my ginger. Now here's my homemade coconut milk. I love coconut milk just as much as I love my what do you call it? The other milk, hemp seed milk. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, so 1/4 cup of your coconut milk, 1/2 cup of your Kamut flour that you just made, 1/8 of a teaspoon of your cayenne powder, 1/2 of a teaspoon of your ginger powder, and then also 1/2 of a teaspoon of your sea salt. Basically, you can really season it to your taste. So if you like more salt, less salt, do that. If you like spicier food, add more. I don't want it too spicy, and you're not going to want this to be too spicy, but you are going to enjoy this taste. So I'm going to go ahead and cook up my oyster mushrooms. I'm not going to show you this one because I already have a video on cooking this. But I'm going to go ahead, cook up my oyster mushrooms, and then I'm also going to go ahead and start getting my my cereal together. I already have my water on the eye being warm, okay? But I am going to show you cooking that up. Right, so I already have my ginger and my coconut milk inside of my water. And so now I'm going to put in my my cayenne and my salt. You're going to need to whisk for doing all of this. And I'm just going to whisk it around a little bit right now. Just get all that blended in, break down the salt. Okay, so now we're going to start putting in our Kamut flour. And we're going to have to whisk it in so you don't get the lumps. And your water is already going to be hot with your coconut milk inside of here. And all your seasons. Just whisk it in. Whisk, 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 whisk. There we go. Whisk it, whisk it, whisk it. Let's get it all in there. So we're going to let this sit on the eye and let it cook down a little bit. It's only going to have to be on the eye for maybe about 5 minutes or so. There we go. I'm going to put the lid on it, but I'm not going to put the lid on it completely because I don't want it to boil over. So I have this on medium, it's like between medium low and medium. While that's on the eye, I'm just going to go ahead and fix up the rest of my oyster mushrooms. I'm going to have to clean some more of these things down because I like for this container to be full when I go into that freezer and get it out. Alright, so let's check on our cereal. And it's really nice and creamy right now, and this is just the way we want it. It's only been on the eye for maybe 3.5 minutes or so. See that? There we go. That popping that you hear are my mushrooms warming up. Alright, so I'm just going to put the top back over it slightly because I don't want it to boil out or anything. And when I come back, this is actually going to be all done. Our cereal is ready. So what we're going to do, turn this off. Now we're going to take our oyster mushrooms and we're going to put it right in here. And then the oil that was used on here, that's going to be the only oil that you're going to be using inside of this. And the oil is going to be very well seasoned because of the seasoning of the oyster mushrooms. So now I'm going to use my a little spoon to get this all stirred around in here. And the seasons is going to get all into your cereal as well. This is going to be the most awesome thing you've tried. So this is actually all done right here. It's all done. We're going to let this cool off a little bit, and then I'm going to put it inside of a bowl. And this is a ceramic spoon that I use, and my pots are ceramic as well. Alright, so now we're just going to pour our hot cereal down into our bowl. And this is all ready. This is actually enough to feed 2 people. But if, depending on how you like it, you might just eat this entire thing up by itself. And we're all done. Okay, everyone, my cereal is all done. The only thing left to do is to eat it. And I'm so gonna eat it up. It's hot. Kamut cereal and mushrooms, and have those mushrooms seasoned real good. That is so good. Now I've heard people compare this to like grits. I don't know, because I've never eaten grits before, so I have absolutely no idea. I just know that my recipe testers, they like it. I love it. My family and my friends, they like it. They love it. So I'm about to eat the heck out of the rest of this bowl. And I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to another one of my recipes. And again, this is your Kamut cereal using your Kelp for Shrooms. I can't wait for you guys to try this. This is just so good.